have been looking forward to this morning for quite a while, and this is a very important part of the College of Southern Maryland's history. We've always had good relations with the University of Maryland, both at College Park as well as the medical facility in Baltimore. But this takes it really to the next level. And we are really excited not only for the interaction, but what the interaction will do for Southern Maryland. It's another step forward in the evolution of providing the best possible healthcare services and providers to and personnel to Southern Maryland. Before we get much further, I do want to recognize a number of individuals, and you're all special. So if I don't mention you by name, it's not that I don't love you. First of all, I'd like to introduce they're part of the family now. I'm not going to say our guests from the University of Maryland, but from the University of Maryland, Baltimore. And I really want to compliment them for their willingness to really roll up their sleeves and work with us in a very, I won't say arduous. It was long. There were great discussions, and it wasn't easy, but it certainly is fruitful. Dr. Jane Kersling is the Dean of the University of Maryland, Baltimore School of Nursing, and played a major role in crafting the agreement. Also providing leadership all the way there he is, right in the front there. Okay, good. Dr. Bruce Durrell, who's Chief Academic and Research Officer, Senior Vice President and Dean of the Graduate School. Boy, that's a mouthful. At the University of Maryland in Baltimore. And if it weren't for Bruce also providing the leadership, we would not be here today. Dr. Janice Hoffman, Assistant Dean for the Baccalaureate Program. I remember when we traveled to your offices, she was right there and very, very helpful, so thank you. We have, and I apologize if I mispronounce this, Marshall Payne Gassaway, who's Director of Admissions for the university. Thank you. We have a number of guests from the medical and from the general community. Diane Couchman is here. She's the Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President for Clinical Services at Calvert Memorial Hospital, one of our partners. Great, thank you for coming. Also, Dana Levy is here, Chief Nursing Officer at Charles Medical Regional Center. Thank you so much. In addition, we have, let's see now. Well, those are the two major people from the hospitals. Unfortunately, we weren't able to we have also a very special person, not just because she's the wife of our board chair, but Sarah Middleton. And Sarah, there is Sarah, played a major role behind the scenes because of her position, which has been so helpful to the college. She's on the board of directors of the Charles Medical Regional Center. She's also an ex officio member of the University of Maryland Medical Center Systems Board of Directors. Thank you. And also with her, sitting right next to her, is her granddaughter, Kelly McDonald, whose father, I understand, was a student here, and we're excited about that. Lots of people from CSM, and you're going to hear from Dr. Laura Polk, who played such a major role in working with Jane and Dr. Hoffman, Janice as well, in terms of crafting this agreement. We thank her for that. We also have President's Council. Could you all stand, please, and be recognized? I'm not going to call you all by name, so please, thank you. Dr. Karen Russell also was working diligently on this agreement. Nursing faculty, stand and be recognized, please, because you play such a major role. Thank you. And the heart of the organization, our leadership, you're going to hear from our board chairman, Mike Middleton, who also played a a major, major role in crafting this agreement. But also we have Dr. Janice Walthauer from St. Mary's County and Dr. John Roach also from St. Mary's County. Thank you so much for being part of today's very special event. And I should mention that Dr. Roach really understands it as much as many, probably more than I do, because he is a physician. He understands just how critically important these kinds of agreements are in serving Southern Maryland. There are others, administrators, we have a variety of people here. Chris Zimmerman is here, Director of Financial Aid. We have Brian Hammond here. I believe I saw Brian, admissions. I want to recognize James Spence. I think I saw James, didn't I? James plays such a large role in helping to craft these agreements, and I really want to recognize him as well. You're going to hear from two of our students, and we're excited about that because that's why we're here. But let me just mention a few talking points, if I might. The College of Southern Maryland was chartered in 1958, and it's been an evolution through the years. One of the things that we pride ourselves on as a community college is we're so connected to the community. And we realized back in the 70s that there was a need for individuals in the medical professions, especially in nursing. And so it was in 1975 that we started our LPN program, if I have this correct, Laura. And that began to morph in 1977 into our associate degree of nursing program. And what has happened is, like in so many of these programs that we have at the college, starts small, evolves into something much larger. From a handful of students when we were offering the practical nurse program to now we have approximately 270 students enrolled in the program. We admit students twice a year, and we graduate about, 45 to 50 or so every year. And we all know that we are the major providers of nurses to the region. And whenever, and hopefully we don't have to go visit the medical facilities too often, except maybe to visit people who are getting treatment. But I know when my mother was in the hospital, just about every nurse that I interacted with was a graduate of our program. And the level of caring and their competency was amazing. And so we have benefited from these community partnerships. Not only do the hospitals and other medical facilities help us in terms of providing clinical placements for our students, scholarships, but also we provide the workforce that they need to be successful. So it's always been about partnerships. It's always been about how do we work together. But now we have the so-called 800-pound gorilla facing us, and it forces us to evolve still again. As hospitals move toward the magnet program, it means that our nurses, the nurses in Southern Maryland, will need the baccalaureate degree. We pride ourselves in being an associate degree granting institution. And so we have a dilemma. And we've known about this dilemma for several years now. I know Laura Polk and others really worry about it. I worry about it as well. And because of Mike Middleton, our board chair, and Sarah, and the support of the personnel at the University of Maryland, we now are going to be able to take care of this problem with this dual admissions agreement, and I believe, Dr. Kirschling, you're going to talk more about the dynamics of it. We're going to be able to continue to address the workforce needs of Southern Maryland, and that's what it's all about. Because it's not just the college, it's not just that our programs now are not providing the baccalaureate degree. It's also, there's a potential crisis in Southern Maryland in terms of the ability for the hospitals and other medical facilities to hire good qualified people who have the baccalaureate degree. So by having this kind of arrangement where we will be able then to dually enroll or admit our students So they will be our students. They will sign an agreement with the University of Maryland, and once they graduate, they will then seamlessly be able to move to the University of Maryland's program. And unlike so many, and why this is such a unique program, is that we're not going to be forcing our graduates to be schlepping all the way up to Baltimore, which is a real disincentive. In fact, I don't think many are able to. We'll be able to provide these courses down in Southern Maryland, both in person and online, and that's what makes this program so unique and so important, because it's addressing the workforce needs of our community in a very positive way. One of the things I know as president is that this is probably the most rigorous program we have on this campus and at the college. We know that it's not easy to get into this particular program. There's always a long list, fortunately or unfortunately, of students who are not able, do not have the academic background or requirements to enter the program. And these students, they graduate as one of the largest group of graduates every year. And a very large percentage, about 90% or so, are passing the board on their first attempt. It's a high quality program, and I know that the University of Maryland would not be sitting here today if they didn't recognize the work of our nurses, nursing faculty members, and the hospitals providing these clinical placements to provide an outstanding education for these individuals. I see Joan Middleton sitting in the back. I should have recognized her, Associate Vice President for Student Services. Thank you for what you're doing. So this is an important event for the college. It's an important event for our nursing program. It's a critically important event for Southern Maryland. And what I'd like to do now is call upon Mike Middleton to provide his perspectives. And again, I really want to recognize Mike. Mike was the person who indicated that there was a way forward, and using his contacts and his ability to move things forward, we rode on his back and were able to really get this agreement signed. So without further ado, Mike Middleton.
Thank you so much, Brad, and you've covered a lot of excellent points. And as I think you're all aware, and as a trustee, and I know our other trustees here are just in awe at times when we start looking at the quality assessments of our students and go, wow, that is really amazing. So we have established, the college, have established a solid reputation as a leading resource for accessible education and academic excellence for all the citizens in Southern Maryland. But recently, the President of the United States championed our role as the community colleges in making our workforce relevant in changing times. And now, as a chair of the college board, it's vitally important to me that we're always looking ahead for a workforce disruption. And these occur when technology or laws radically alter the norm and require our expertise to re-educate the employees so they move into the new space, the new environment. The ACA, the Affordable Care Act, significantly has disrupted healthcare. And our nurses are in the top 10 list of employees who need the best education most quickly, because they have to be re-educated to meet the standards of the ACA. And if we don't address this need within a very short time horizon, it's going to be a very critical problem for all of us. CSM has been working to fill the gap. And through this articulation agreement, we will be able to meet the needs for our nurses who are required to hold a BSM degree. But all this work, as Brad mentioned, requires a partner. And the University of Maryland School of Nursing has stepped up to assist us in this urgent task. And I'm very, very, very proud of all the hard work and the negotiations and the patience with me. I'm private sector, 90 days is a long time, academia. 19 months is really fast. Right, Janet? She said, this went really fast this morning. I went, Okay, but anyhow, different lifespans here, I guess. So I'm very, very proud that everybody's come together and made this dream a reality, and I want to congratulate all, and I want to congratulate all those future nurses and all those current nurses. This is quite an opportunity that Dr. Godfrey and his team have put together. So thank you very much. And I'd like to introduce really the person who was always pushing me along, going, Mike, we need this, Mike, we need that. And this, of course, is Dr. Kersling. So if you will, I'd like to have you come and say a few words.
So I think the notion of being from the private sector is an understatement about this gentleman who is persistent and tenacious and has a vision. And I thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. So a little bit about the University of Maryland School of Nursing, but before I do that, I want to send my greetings and regrets on behalf of President Perman. Due to his schedule and our desire to make this happen, we went ahead without being able to have him here. But he is absolutely 120% behind this initiative because of his heartfelt and truthful commitment to the state of Maryland and also to nursing as a discipline, because he knows as a physician what a critical role nursing plays in terms of healthcare delivery. So the University of Maryland School of Nursing, we've had a phenomenal year, and this will be one of our milestones of this year in that we are celebrating our 125th anniversary as a School of Nursing. And we have 20,000 living alumni, many who are in Maryland and in the region and making a difference. And I am so excited and so pleased that this legacy, in terms of the partnership with the College of Southern Maryland, could be a part of our 125th celebration of nursing excellence for Maryland's nurses. And I want to thank Laura Polk. I want to thank her faculty. You are exquisite in terms of the work that you do in preparing nurses for this part of Maryland. And we couldn't have asked for a better partner in terms of moving forward with this new concept for Maryland. And that is the ability to have dual admission, where a student can come into an associate degree program, get an exceptional education, an education that produces a very well-prepared nurse, but at the same time make that commitment to go ahead and pursue the baccalaureate degree. The Institute of Medicine issued a report that said by 2020, 80% of our nurses need to hold a baccalaureate degree or higher. And baccalaureate programs in this country can't meet that target. We can only meet it when we embrace and welcome these opportunities to partner together between associate degree education and baccalaureate education to prepare that future workforce for the United States and for our state. So I just personally want to say thank you for this opportunity. It is, in fact, not the dean who does the work. The dean gets the call from the president, and the dean then goes down through the workforce that is so amazing. And it's the work of Janice Hoffman, of Marshall Payne-Gassaway, of Nina Trocki, of Ann Meck, and many others, and the unbelievable hard work of all of you here at the College of Southern Maryland that allows us to be here today. So thank you for this honor. We look forward to working with you, and we are so very proud that this day has come. So thank you.
Now I'd like to call up one of the major authors working with Jane and Dr. Hoffman as well. Laura Polk has provided such wonderful leadership to our nursing program, has come up through the ranks and has shown her excellence as not only a faculty member but as an administrator. And if it weren't for her hard work, we would not be sitting here today. So Dr. Polk, if you would come up and say a few words and maybe also mention a little bit about the agreement as well.
You know, when we talk about the rigor of the program, check. Dr. Godfrey mentioned that. When we talk about the size of the program and how much it has grown to twice-a-year admissions, to graduating approximately 90 students each year, we've got that covered. When we talk about the IOM report, Dr. Kersling mentioned that. I think what's really important about this agreement, getting back to the IOM report, is that that report has really been instrumental in focusing across nursing levels. And when we look at the transition between nursing education now and the ability of nursing programs from a variety of levels to work together in unity to provide for the best nursing workforce and the most diverse nursing workforce we could possibly have. We all know from looking at the data that it's the associate degree nurse and the associate degree nursing programs that bring in this wide variety of diversity to our nursing workforce, much more substantially than our typical generic bachelor's degree programs. And it's for all of the reasons that you hear about associate degree education: affordability, access, meeting the needs of a particular community. And so it's fantastic that we're now able to partner with the University of Maryland to move those graduates forward to their next level of nursing education, and to do so in such a seamless way. I think that's one of the hallmarks of this agreement, is that in the past, with a typical RN to BSN program, graduates would complete an associate degree program and then stop out, work for a little while, think about coming back to school, try to figure out the finances of coming back to school, look at tuition reimbursement from their employer, and then take a look at an RN to BSN program and go, oh wow, I still need 25 more prerequisites of general education credits before I'm even ready to take the University of Maryland or bachelor's degree courses. And so I think one of the hallmarks of this agreement is that we're going to be able to meet with students very early in their education, help them identify a pathway so that when they're working on their general education credits, they can take those that are required for the associate degree as well as for the bachelor's degree. And then as those students are coming into the associate degree at CSM, while they are taking CSM courses, they also will be able to take several courses at the University of Maryland. So they will be granted special student status, and they'll be able to, given our first or second semester nursing course prerequisites, having completed those courses, they'll be able to, during that second year in the associate degree program, complete several of those bachelor's level courses. And so that will hopefully give a student the opportunity to transition much more seamlessly into the University of Maryland program upon graduation with their associate degree. By capturing these students early and helping them identify the solid block of prerequisites that they need for both programs, they'll then be able to complete the associate degree in nursing, and without skipping, using that entire next year to get prerequisites done, instead they'll be able to move forward right that next semester into continuing the program and getting their bachelor's degree. I think that's a very important part of this agreement. The second part of this agreement that's critical is the location of the education. And I think that's what's really stellar about our agreement. I know that some other community colleges have been working on things similar to this, dual admission kinds of agreements, but the students in those relationships have to go to the four-year school still to complete the bachelor's degree. And through our partnership with the University of Maryland, what we've been able to develop is a web hybrid opportunity for our students. And so we will have faculty from the University of Maryland down on the College of Southern Maryland campuses providing those web hybrid opportunities. And so our local students have told us that that local access is essential for them to be able to move forward with their education. I had a single mom the other day telling me that, CSM was not only her first choice, it was her first choice, but it was also her only choice for nursing education in the Southern Maryland area. And now to have, again, a first choice for a bachelor's degree program in the Southern Maryland area is pretty extraordinary. That's really all that I want to highlight, is the idea that we're going to hopefully help our students move much more quickly through the process. We know through the IOM report that the associate degree is a valid entry point to nursing, and we're really proud of our associate degree program. But as our previous speakers have said, we also know that those graduates absolutely need to move forward to get their bachelor's degree, and that nursing is a profession that requires lifelong learning, from associate to bachelor's to master's and to doctorate or DNP. So we want to promote that here in Southern Maryland, and I think the best people who can promote that for us are our own nursing students. So I would, at this point in time, like to invite Susie Hammett and Valerie Dowell to come up and share their perspectives with you.
Thank you for inviting me to come speak to you today. As a third semester student, this agreement is very important to me, not only for students like myself who are pursuing our associate's degree, but other students who ultimately want to pursue their bachelor's degree. A few years ago, I had a personal setback and I needed to regroup with my parents and had to move into their house. My dad suggested to me that I go to college. He said, "This is your second chance. What do you really want to do?" And when my daughters were born, I thought the most caring and compassionate nurses that I've ever met were labor and delivery nurses. And that is something that I really wanted to do, is pursue a career in nursing. CSM's location was perfect for me because as a single mom, I could go to school but be close to my kids if they needed me. When I registered for 6 prerequisite classes at a time so I could hurry up and get all those completed. In the spring of 2014, I petitioned and I was accepted into the nursing program. I also would like to mention that as I pursued my nursing career, my mom saw how I was pursuing success, and she decided to join me in the nursing program, and she's in her first semester this year. I've been on the dean's list every semester since I've been at CSM, and I am a provisional member of the Nursing Honor Society. It hasn't been easy to go to college as a full-time student and be a single mom. My 2 young girls tell me often that they get frustrated when I tell them, "Mommy has to study." But I remind them that everybody's sacrificing so we can all have a better life in the end. This agreement is important to me because it means that students like me can continue our education towards a bachelor's degree right here in Southern Maryland and at a great nursing school that's highly respected. Thank you to everyone who has worked to put this agreement together. Your efforts are going to make a big difference to the nursing students at Southern Maryland. Thank you.
Good morning. I didn't realize we had so much in common. Thank you for the opportunity to share why this agreement today is important for students like myself. At the age of 38, I became a single mother after the sudden death of my husband. I had to come up with a plan to support myself and my 2 children, who are now ages 10 and 15. I knew I needed a stable career, not just another job. I chose to pursue a degree in nursing because it seemed to be the perfect combination of my humanitarian and medical interests. I knew that a career in nursing would present many opportunities for me to provide for my family now and into the future. I have found that among my fellow nursing students, many of us are pursuing a second career, and many are mothers. Like myself, many of us are established within our communities with family responsibilities that simply don't allow us the option of commuting in order to pursue higher education. Having the nursing program locally through the College of Southern Maryland is what made this new start possible for me. A dual admission opportunity such as this one with the University of Maryland School of Nursing is ideal. Having high-quality academic resources available locally is particularly attractive to students like myself, as I appreciate the face-to-face instruction rather than learning in an online environment. The traditional classroom experience is much more conducive to fostering supportive relationships with my professors and study groups with fellow students. On behalf of CSM's nursing students like myself who are eager to pursue a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing degree and work in the nursing profession as soon as we can, I'd like to thank the College of Southern Maryland and the University of Maryland School of Nursing for working together to bring about this type of a dual admission program. Thank you.
You know, as we were formulating this agreement, it was students like Valerie and Suzanne that we thought about. Because whenever I go to a nurse pinning, and many do every semester, everyone has a story. And these students are high-quality students that provide so much back to our community. And this agreement, and again, Dr. Kirschling and Dr. Jarrell, if it weren't for your leadership, we would not be able to provide this opportunity. And as Dr. Polk mentioned, the difference between this and a typical agreement that we have many dual admissions programs, is that the University of Maryland is providing personnel down here in Southern Maryland. That makes all the difference in the world. So this is an agreement. It's dual admissions. It's for students who are completing our program. Grade point average in the sciences, 2.75, overall 3.0, and the vast majority of our students will be successful in achieving those requirements. But there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, as Dr. Roach and others know, down in Southern Maryland who are already nurses, who are already practicing, who also fall under this new requirement. And so another agreement is being prepared and hopefully will be signed soon to address the needs of past students, students who have already graduated, who are already working, but do need the baccalaureate degree. Right now, there are few options for them, and we're confident that the University of Maryland School of Nursing will continue to step up to the plate and really provide the difference we need for our students. So I'm going to call Dr. Kirschling and Dr. Durrell up to the table for the signing ceremony. Congratulations.